All right, the picks, and I'm gonna take myself off screen. I'm gonna put this up on full screen. Well, maybe I better not. I want to make sure that the sound doesn't in any way get affected. So this is an exciting time of the year, right? College football playoffs going on, the NFL playoffs going on, and there's basically every one of these games. Actually, let me take that scroller off of there and do that so you guys can see it real good. There we go. All right, so Rams in Carolina, interesting game. That's probably the biggest mismatch of the weekend. There's two mismatches, but that's probably the biggest one. Is the Rams minus 10.5 over Carolina. Love what's happening in Carolina. They've done a lot of great things, and they're on the up and up. And they were lost. They were counted out. They were dead. And here you want to talk about five? They list them at 6 foot. Bryce Young. I'm happy for Bryce Young. Dude got benched. He came back. He didn't make it about him. He made it about the team. He went behind Andy Dalton, and he learned and he grew. And you see the optics of it, and you see it from the sidelines and from a different perspective. And you decompress that way, and you watch a vet, not a great quarterback in Andy Dalton, but a vet. And you sit back and you learn, and really happy for them. And I like where they're going as a team. The Rams backed into the playoffs to a large degree. And that's why Sean McVay was playing his players, from whistle to whistle, start to finish, because he needed to work. He needed to figure some things out. And, you're going into the playoffs, and are you playoff ready? I'm not sure if they're playoff ready, but they're playoff ready for Carolina. 10.5 points, that's a big number. It's on the road to, and that game's not supposed to be, right? The Rams had their chance to have that game at home, and they didn't. That's why you always got to finish strong. You got to bury teams. Kurt Cignetti, and, let's see. Do we got a score yet? Let me see here. I don't even have it up. Can you believe that? Sports guy. What am I doing? Let's see, 7-7. So exactly like I expected. As I said in the open, I think it'll be close for a little while, and then Indiana will wear on them over the course of the game, and it just bang and bang and bang and bang and bang, and eventually I think you're looking at a 10 to 13 point victory for Indiana. So the Rams, I think, are going to beat Carolina. That's a big line, but I think they're going to cover it. All right, Green Bay and Chicago. Some people in the neighborhood, if you're watching, I know somebody put out a post. We live in Florida, so the weather's nice. I guess you could do it even if it wasn't nice. But a guy says, "Hey, everybody, you want to come on over? And you want to watch Green Bay and the Bears? Come on over. I got the large screen TV in the driveway." And there are, where I live, you got Bears fans, you got Cleveland, Buffalo, Bills Mafia fans, like the complex, and melting pot, and people from all over the country. And all these different teams, and they put their flags out, and Michigan, there were Detroit Lions fans in here, University of Michigan fans in here. There's a whole bunch, and so there's Bears fans in here, and there's Ohio State too is in here. Baltimore Orioles, Philadelphia. So the Bears and the Packers, that should be a good game. I believe that the Packers are going to win on the road, minus the 1.5. I do not think Caleb Williams is a structured quarterback. I think he's a chaos quarterback. It's got to come down to 2 minutes. It's got to be helter-skelter. He seems to succeed. I mean, Ben Johnson should go in a 2-minute drill for the full 60 minutes or every possession that they're in, and they have a better chance to perform better instead of getting behind. That's who he is. That's another guy that struggles with progressions, and that's another guy who struggles with that accuracy. I think Green Bay rises up, and I think they win this game. What an outstanding game. The Bills at Jacksonville, another Florida team. And I got to give Luke credit. And I put it out there too. I said the two surprise teams in the NFL would be the Raiders and Jacksonville. And if you follow me on X at PB Sports Talks with an S on the end, you'll see that. You'll find that graphic. Just do a search, and it's half of the graphic is Jags, half of the graphic is the Raiders. I expected them both to be kind of like Jacksonville played this year. The Raiders were the opposite. So they did shock the NFL. Both teams shocked the NFL. One got the first overall pick, and the others, whatever they are, 13-4 and playing a home game against the Bills. Guys, I'm going to go with Jacksonville here. And I know there's some Bills Mafia people that follow me, but there's too many issues with Buffalo. There's injuries. There's not injuries. There's, there is injuries, and Allen's got an issue with the ankle, but there's too many issues on that team. There's not enough offensive firepower, in my opinion. Defensively, they can be a sieve. Jacksonville's playing well on both sides of the ball. Plus 1.5. That's all name right there. You got minus 1.5 at even money for Buffalo, and then plus 1.5 at minus 122. Amazing. So I'm taking the plus 1.5 at minus 122. We're playing the money line, excuse me, all day with Jacksonville. The Niners and the Eagles. Another great matchup. Eagles favored by 5.5. I got Frisco, guys. Give me the 5.5. The Eagles are too helter-skelter, in my opinion. And I don't know what happened with Jalen Hurts in terms of he doesn't want to run the ball anymore. And the Eagles are far less effective, or far more effective when he runs and far less effective when he doesn't run. Not that he should be a running quarterback first, but when he's active and he's mobile and he's a threat to get out of there, defenses play them differently. And his teammates, they tend to play better. They get open better. They're harder to stop. They're harder to defend. So if he runs and does what he's supposed to do, they should win that game. But you got to give me San Francisco in the 5.5. All right, the Chargers and the Patriots. Everybody who follows me knows I am a massive Justin Herbert guy. 2 days before the 2024 NFL draft, not because he got drafted that year, but when I was talking about potentially Malik Neighbors going to there, what he needed, as a wide receiver, I had said that at that time, currently in 2024, 2 days before the draft, that he was a Hall of Fame quarterback. Nothing has changed. That dude's nails. He's playing with a broken hand. They gave him this last week off, but it's unfortunately not going to make a difference. You're going West Coast, East Coast. You're going to play cold New England. New England is stacked. They're playing really, really well. Drake May playing out of his mind, extremely well coached. I would probably buy that down to 3, get it to an even 3, but New England -3 or -3.5 over the Chargers. And then Monday night game, which is always interesting, a playoff game on a Monday night. The next man to get fired, most likely the next man to get fired is Mike Tomlin. Crazy that this game is at home for them. It's not going to matter. Houston has a ferocious defense. They will be all over Rodgers. He's not going to be able to move, which we know he can't. It's can they protect him? And you want to talk about a guy who wins at the line of scrimmage? Aaron Rodgers done it his whole career. Now, he was a mobile guy. He's not anymore. He still can do that actually a little bit here and there. He was a mobile guy his whole career, but he beat you with his mind. Had all the skills, all the tools, right? Every gifted talent you could want. But he beat you with his mind, and that's how he's able to still perform at the level he's performing. But it's not going to be enough against the Houston Texans. Texans -3 on the road over the Steelers. And so that wraps up the pro picks.